Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel, and today I am super excited to be doing the first haul of 2021. So I've got some beautiful perfumes sitting here in front of me that I can't wait to share with you. But before we do that, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Become part of the weird and wonderful family / community. I would love to have you join us, and also feel free to leave your comments. Tell me what you think of these perfumes. Let's start conversation. It's always fun to chat with you guys in the comment section. So let's get started. Now a few of these are from Christmas and I just saved them up, so I get to share them with you, and I'm like really actually quite excited. So the first one that I have to share with you is Tom Ford's Noir Perfume. Now this one I had been wanting for such a long time. I just love it. First of all, it smells super rich and expensive, like many of the Tom Ford fragrances do. This one, the longevity is amazing on it, but what I love about it is that there's this spice to it. I just sprayed it on my arm, but it's like really warm, it's vanillic. There's no boozy notes in it, but it kind of comes across as boozy. I think that's because there's a bit of ginger in there, ginger and orange. It's just spicy and it's exceptionally seductive. So to me, I just find this one like super moody. I think of black velvet dress and long gloves and just kind of, the film noirs. I think of like, I don't know, I guess I associate like the 1940s and 50s with sex and seduction. But this one to me, it just smells like, one of those femme fatale movies. Not that a movie smells, but if it did, it would smell like this. So I just think this one's very provocative. It's very strong. It smells like a confident woman. This is something that, I think of dressing up when I wear it, or dressing like not wearing anything. Anyway, this one is really, really good. Like, it's beautiful. So I highly recommend this one. Like I said, the longevity is fantastic. There's an Indian dessert called kulfi in here. There's a bit of a creaminess, like a lactonic vibe. There's amber. It's just warm, it's sultry, it's sexy, it's seductive. And it's delicious. This one's considered gourmand, although it's not something that I smell and think immediately that I'd want to eat it, but I love smelling it on my skin. Like, it's something that's super, super, super duper intoxicating. So I highly recommend this one. Now the next one that I got for Christmas, which I was really excited about, was Prada La Femme. Now I've talked about this one tons. I had a little 10 ml travel fragrance of this, and this one, it just smells like a clean, rich woman. So this smells like a rich, seductive woman. This smells like a rich, powerhouse woman. So this is something that you'd wear during the day if you want to smell classy. It's a great work fragrance. Now this one has a ton of tuberose in here, but then as it dries down, there's a bit of orris root, there's some spices in there. So it just gives a nod to some spice in the midst of major white floral. So this one's beautiful. It smells like a very, very expensive luxury shampoo, let's say, but it's not super, like, I wouldn't consider this a fresh fragrance. Definitely more floral, and with that little spicy edge, it's got a little bit of a kick. Super classy, and like, I just couldn't wait to get this one. I'm not done my travel spray, but I just love this bottle so much. I just think it's so, so beautiful. Actually, both these bottles are gorgeous. So like, if I had to choose 2 scents, like day, night, these would do you, honestly. These are beautiful. Now the next one that I happened to get my hands on is Guerlain's Terracotta. So this one opens up with tiare flower, coconut, and bergamot. So you get that tiare, then in the mids you get ylang ylang, jasmine, and orange blossom. In the dry down is vanilla and musk. So This one is definitely more geared to summer. I can't wait to use this. Now, the interesting thing about this one is that when it goes on the skin, you definitely notice the tiare, you notice that ylang ylang. The coconut is kind of in the background, but it just smells warm and inviting, and it also smells very rich and classy. So whereas this is more of an everyday scent, this would be more of a classy summer scent, classy tropical vacation scent. But like really you could wear it all year round, but it does give me that summer vibe. Now, what I find interesting about this one is that as it dries down on my skin, it gets almost, it doesn't get creamy, it gets a little bit buttery. It almost smells a little bit like butter on my skin. And so it took me a little bit to get used to that, but I actually really love it. I find it kind of addictive, and I can't wait to wear this in the summer. Have many of you tried this one? I know it's hard to get in the States, but you can get it in Canada on the Bay, like at our local department store called the Bay, and my guess is that they would ship to the US, but I'm not sure. And then we have a drugstore called Shoppers Drug Mart, and you can get this here readily, like it's readily available in Canada. So I love this one. I'm really excited to use it, in particular in the summer. Next one that I got, Fragrance Buy was having a sale, and it was $60 Canadian for Mancera Velvet Vanilla. There was a few other ones that like Holidays and Python, a couple different ones like that were on sale for $60 Canadian. So I really wanted to give this a go. Now what I had heard is that this was tuberose and smelt like bubblegum. And so the bubblegum aspect kind of made me a bit nervous because I'm not super keen on bubblegum. Like I was never a bubblegum chewer. I liked it for maybe 1 second and then wasn't crazy about it. So I wasn't sure, but some other people said it smelled like vanilla cake or like birthday cake. And yeah, and I've really began to love tuberose. Like tuberose is in this one. I love it. I have a few other scents that have tuberose and really find that I'm enjoying it. So I thought I'd, take a chance on this one. Now, if you want, I just want to recommend that you go over and follow me on Instagram. On Instagram, I post daily, and I do a lot of like first sniffs. So you get to see my reaction on this one when I first smelled it. I was totally taken aback by the way it smelled. I wasn't anticipating how bubblegummy I found this. But the other thing is with Mancera fragrances, that there's a bit of a synthetic, kind of a weird vibe that I get from it right off the bat. It smells chemically. But if you can get past that chemical aspect, I don't think that lingers. And so what you're left with is a very sweet tuberose fragrance, and it's more bubblegummy. It's very girly. This is considered unisex, but I can't see a man really enjoying wearing this. It smells very, very sweet and bright. I wouldn't say juicy. To me, the best way that I could describe this is if you were making a bubblegum vanilla cream icing. So if you made a birthday cake and then you somehow flavored it with bubblegum and made a really heavy vanilla buttercream icing to put on that cake, that's what this smells like to me. So you definitely get that tuberose, but it's way, way sweeter than something like the Prada La Femme. So it smells more edible than any tuberose I've smelt so far. I guess that's because of the vanilla. This one says it has pear, angelica, black currant, mandarin orange, clove, pepper, all of that. So, you kind of are anticipating from the notes some major spice, some greenness. I don't necessarily get that in this. I get mainly that bubblegummy vanilla vibe from this. Now in the mid notes it has the tuberose, jasmine, neroli, and orange. I just get tuberose, and then the base is vanilla and musk, although I don't ever notice that musk. It's just mainly vanilla and tuberose. So that bubblegum vanilla smell is what I get. I love the bottle. I think it's gorgeous. This one, as it dries down, I like it more and more. So on the opening, it smells like fairly strong and sweet. But as it dries, it just becomes this creamy, to me, icing smell. And I actually really like it. It's got more depth than like a sugary smell. It smells more creamy to me than that. I don't get any greenness in this. It's just bubblegum vanilla. So if that's your vibe, go for it. Lots of people love this. It's not a love yet, but I've found myself thinking about it a lot and wanting to put it on quite often. So I kind of think I'm gonna love this more and more. I think that it would be too strong for the summer, but fall, winter, and spring, I think that you could wear this no problem. So let me know what you think. Have you tried this one? It's kind of like half and half as far as people liking it or not. So far I'm impressed, and the longevity of this is really decent. So yeah, I really like it. But my husband and my son, they're not crazy about it, but I'm liking it a lot. Now the next 2 scents that I got were very affordable. So they were both around $25. The first one is Frank Oliver's Oud Vanille. Now this one has, I can't ever get this cap off. That is a tight cap. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the bottle. Like, I don't know if you can see, but let's see. It's kind of got an indent, so it's like this piece has been turned. It's a really, really pretty bottle. It's kind of purple, like kind of an amethyst color. I love this bottle. It's just beautiful. I love the gold on here. I like it better than the cap. The cap is kind of a pain in the butt. But so now the scent of this, I was a bit disappointed, and the reason being is this one supposedly opens with caramel, raspberry, and orange. And so the thought of that mixed with then as you go down, incense, oud, rose, jasmine, that all sounded so amazing. And then base notes of vanilla, oud, spices, and musk. From the note perspective, it just sounded deep and mysterious and dark and delicious and super sensual. So I was really excited to try this one, and the price was amazing. But for me, it kind of fell a bit flat. So it you definitely get the incense, the vanilla, and the oud, but I'm not noticing a whole lot of spices. I don't notice the caramel or the raspberry. The rose in here is very faint. Some people have compared this one to Shaghoff Oud or Oud Bouquet. I would say no. Like the Shaghoff Oud, it's definitely more in your face. There's more rose. There's more oud. It's much more, I just consider it more, a little bit more seductive. This one is nice, and you do get a bit of a peppery vibe in the opening. It's a bit powdery, like there's violet in here as well. It's not a bad scent. Like, I definitely, right now I'm picking up on the oud and that incense. As it dries down, you get the vanilla. So overall, I find this to be quite a nice scent, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. The longevity is around 6-7 hours. Pretty decent projection, pretty decent longevity. The only thing that I find, and I think it's the incense that I'm noticing, when I smell incense, to me it comes across slightly cold. So it reminds me, I said this on Instagram as well, it reminds me, if you've ever tasted artificial sweetener, I like erythritol, and so erythritol on the tongue, it's sweet but cool. Like it has kind of almost a menthol-y feel to it. That's what this kind of smells like. So you get that sweetness, but I think it's the incense that brings out just a slight, the only way I can describe it is menthol, although it's not minty or menthol at all. It's just a cooling sensation in my nose. So that's what this gives me quite a lot of. I'm not sure I love that, but as it dries down and develops, so really when it becomes a skin scent, that's when I really like this one because it's kind of sexy. There's a bit of spice to it, and I'm just noticing the spice and the vanilla more in that dry down. So this for me falls a little flat. I'm not unhappy with it. I think I'm going to keep it at least for now, but I definitely wouldn't repurchase this one. So the last perfume I have to share with you, I was really excited about it. I've heard about it tons. Super affordable vanilla fragrance. Can you guess what it is? The first time I heard about it was on The Scented. She was raving about it. Queen Cons has talked about it. I think it's MJ has talked about it. Quite a few people have talked about it. It's kind of the buzz lately, and it is Ragba by Lattafa. Now this was $25, such an affordable perfume. This one has vanilla, sugar, incense, sandalwood, and musk. Now I don't get a whole lot of musk in this. I just mainly get a vanilla scent throughout with a hint of oud and a little bit of that incense. So for a time, this scent reminds me of this one because that incense comes out fairly strong. And to me, again, there's a little bit of a cooling sense to it. But primarily this is just a really nice vanilla oud. It's sweet, but although it's sweet, the oud balances it out so it doesn't become cloying. I actually prefer this over Serge Lutens Un Bois Vanille. I really like the smell of Un Bois Vanille, and they're not similar at all, but Un Bois Vanille is very vanilla woody. And although I really like it, I find that I find it cloying. This one is very sweet, it's very vanillic, but with the oud in there rather than the wood, I don't know if it's that, but it gives me a bit of smokiness to it, which just makes it seem a little less cloying. Sometimes I find vanillas really heavy, and sometimes I can find that they make me sick. But this one hasn't done that, and I've kind of been gravitating towards it. I tend to really love boozy fragrances, and definitely in the opening I get that a little bit of a booze fix as well. So overall, I'm really happy with this one. Very excited to have it in my collection. If I was going to choose between the two, I would definitely choose this one. But that said, this one is nice as well. This one I like better in the opening, I think, although it stays pretty linear. But I like the opening the best on this one. I like the dry down the best on this one. So, you know, this one's a little bit spicier. This one is definitely more unisex, so a guy could definitely pull this one off. This is a lot more vanillic. I think honestly this is unisex as well, but I think that guys would gravitate towards this. This is more smoky, I would say, than this one. Yeah, but I prefer this one overall. So they're very similar though, except this has rose, this has nothing of that nature. So straight vanilla oud. This one has a little bit of extra stuff in there, but this is definitely my pick out of the two. So that's it. And these two were both, actually, these were all blind buys. So overall, I'm really happy with my little mini haul so far. Yay! It's the first one of the year, and I'm really pleased with what I have been able to find and purchase. What about you? What have you been craving through the winter months? I would love to know what is like that scent that you just keep on going to and can't stop sniffing. I think for me, this is right up there. This is so sexy. Like, this is sexy. I love this one. Yeah, this one is just, oof. It's just sultry. It's sexy. I can't stop touching it. It's awesome. It's awesome. You gotta try this one. Do you like it? Like, have you tried this one? Do you like it? Maybe some people wouldn't, but like if I had to choose between this one and Noir de Noir, I would choose this one. I like this one better. It's a little bit more palatable, but yeah, it's just sexy. Anyway, okay, enough of that. So overall, I'm really pleased with my little collection of 6 so far this year. 6 new ones for this year. They're, for the most part, really nice. I'm really happy with them, other than this one is kind of iffy. But I'm still trying this one. We'll see what happens. What are your favorite ones so far? Have you checked out any ones? Are you wanting to splurge on one specific one? I think over the next little while, I want to save my money and buy some niche perfumes. I kind of think that's what I want to do next. But yeah, what are you kind of craving for? What are you kind of wanting? What are you really enjoying right now? I would love to know. And that's all I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you soon.